Hello again everyone. Just have a quick look at a couple of pictures of the equipment that I'm using again as normal, and I'll give you a quick intro into this video. So this is just another evening out for a few hours in the darkness trying the Wulf 4K that you can see there, electronic scope, and obviously it's on top of my FX Impact M3 in 0.25. Now again, hopefully this is going to be the last time I give you apologies that there's no reticle showing in the pictures. You can imagine my dismay when I got back home, plugged in the SD card and saw the footage didn't have a reticle on there. So I was racking my brain, having a look through everything, and then realised finally that I've removed the date and time stamp that comes on the pictures, and when that's removed it also removes the reticle. No info to say of that anywhere, but hopefully from now on you might get some footage with the reticle showing on there and so on. So we move on to some action, and like I say, just an early evening, but it gets dark very early now, and back out looking at some rabbits. Now this is literally just as I walk up to where I'm thinking of sitting down for a couple of hours, and this is just with the night mode on the scope. I haven't even had time to get the infrared IR torch out and put it on, so this is in just pure nighttime mode with no IR torch, and it's already got really quite sort of dark, but it's just enough to see the image that you can see here. And as usual, I'm wobbling around on my trigger sticks because they're still tied up, and I'm just using it as a monopod. But if I remember, this rabbit is at about 40 to 50 meters. Now I just changed a little setting on the Wulf 4K to see if I can get the image better, but decided I better take a shot now before it disappears. And there you go. Good shot. First one down for the night, and it's time to go and sit down and settle down for a bit. So here's a little bit of footage from the Wulf 4K in nighttime use. This is with the basic, I'll call it a basic AR torch that comes with the kit, and I've noticed with the different frame rates that you would film at, you get different kind of interference from the light, and you can see a bit of lines there, and it's better as you sort of zoom in and so on, and it's sort of better on these different focuses that you do. So there's a bit of work to be done there, but I realise I'm going to need a new IR torch, I would think, really, for it. But you can see, get a good idea of the image. I think this rabbit is at about 80 meters, and I'm zoomed in about times 3 or 4 at the moment. You can hear some clicking away. That's me looking at different things on the scope. It's got a ballistic rangefinder on that I'm trying to mess about with, but that's going to need a lot more work for me to get any sort of confidence with and so on. So I've already realised I need to get a nighttime laser rangefinder so I can see what distances these are at. I've not done an awful lot of night vision shooting before. Have got a Par 007 that I did use a bit, but you can get a really good impression of how good the Wulf 4K is with some of this footage. Like I said, I think this rabbit is probably about 18 meters away, and we're at about times 4 digital magnification, maybe times 3 on it, and the image quality is not too bad. In a second, this it goes for a little run. I think he might go even further afield. But if you watch this, I don't actually take a shot of this rabbit because I'm really not too sure of the distance of it. So have a look, see what you think of this sort of footage. I'll come out in a second. You can see there's a better idea of the distance. This is at base magnification, and it's set at times 3 optical, and as I go in a bit here, you can see that's about times 2.5. So image quality is not too bad, I think. So there you can see I've played about with the zoom a bit, and eventually this rabbit does disappear up into the trees and hedges at the top there. But just in a second you'll see some footage that I've captured, and I managed to cap this chap on the video, basically on the scope. Here he comes. He popped through the hedge where I'm shooting. Hadn't seen any rabbits along that hedge line all sort of the time since I sat there. That might be one reason. Now he's come through the hedge to my right where the rabbits come from, and he's sniffing that very first rabbit that I shot, as you can see. And I zoom in and I'm watching him, and I'll slow this up here because I'm not quite sure what happens here, because I'm thinking he's obviously going to steal my rabbit, and you can see him have a little tug at it there, and then he lets go and he picks something else up and off he goes, and I can't work out what that is. I think it's like the rabbit's head or something, and I'm sure obviously the shot I took with my H&N slug, 30 grain slug, hasn't taken his head off, but he's got something in his mouth there. Watch it again here. That's the rabbit. So unless he's pulled it off before I've noticed him there, but I pretty much noticed him come straight out the hedge and started the recording, put the IR torch on, started this recording. Anyway, he picks that up and happily away he trots. So I decide perhaps I'll just sit down for another hour now he's been and gone, and see if anything actually comes out of this hedgerow, because that's where most of the rabbits I see in this area sort of come from. And you can see my rabbit is still on the floor there, or what's left of him maybe. So I'm sat here for another half an hour or so, and then again I just managed to catch this last bit, and I'll slow it down. So he comes back and steals the rest of my rabbit or whatever's there. So I'm left with nothing. Now there's not a lot really happening along the hedge line where I was expecting the rabbits to be coming out, but I pick up another one out in the middle of the grass again here. I am actually using my little Hikmicro thermal monocular spotter, and then I'm just simply turning on the IR torch when I see something out there I want to sort of have a look at, leaving the scope on, powered on all the time, but just switching the IR torch on and off when I see something. So I saw this one out again at a fair distance, switched on to have a look at that, double checked along the hedge where I was expecting them to come out, and there's another pair of rabbits, as you can see, even further away out there. Now they have a good run around and I'm watching them, and they decide to come on in a lot closer, and I know approximately what my distances are along this hedge line where I've sat up, where I was expecting to be shooting. And this one, as you can see, here they come on in, and he stops. Now this is about 70 meters away, I believe, so if he stops long enough I decide I'm going to take a shot at this one. So this is me getting myself ready, cocking the rifle, I think I zoom in to get a bit of a closer picture. Here we go, ready to take the shot. Now he keeps fidgeting around, and he's actually comes a bit closer than what I was expecting, and there. It's just a miss, goes just over him, but he still stays there, so I readjust, and it's another miss. I think it goes just under him, and he bombs off away into the trees and the hedges, way away. I'll show you those couple of shots in a bit of slow motion, and you can see just how close I was, but not close enough, so definitely feel I need to source myself a rangefinder that I can use in the night time to try and pinpoint these distances. He's still out there. Ooh, and since I was making the noise I thought I'd try him, and I've just missed him as well. But have a closer look at those couple of other shots and you'll see how close they were. And I think basically it's simply me not knowing the exact range. Everything else has disappeared. So check out the splash from the slug in the slow motion here, and you'll see it's just over the top of him. So I've just gauged my distance just wrong, I reckon. Oh, that was mighty close. And here's my follow-up shot. Oh, and that's just low, I overcorrected. Lessons learned. So I decide at this point it's time to get up and get away. And as I sort of pack my gear up and start to walk away, I've noticed this one is actually along that hedge line where I've been looking all this time, but he's right up in the corner where it just tucks around a bit. And I was on my feet, so I walked up to him as close as I could get, so I reckon, again, I'm about 45 to 50 metres from him. I've walked up to get that close. And now I go to take the shot, and I think, at that point, I realise I've not cocked the rifle. So I cock the rifle, and then I really take my time, because I really don't want to mess this one up, having missed all those other opportunities, and also the fox taking that other rabbit. So I've gone to take the shot, realised the rifle isn't cocked, recocked the rifle, and now I'm really trying to keep it steady. This is a standing shot with the trigger sticks. And that's much more like it. Got the range right, get the right result. Now after picking that one up, and I'm walking back to the truck, with the thermal in my hand, I see another rabbit, and I start slowly stalking up to it, and I spook it and it runs off into a bush. But this one was much further away, and I've managed to stalk right up fairly close to it by keeping that tree that you see on the right hand side there between me and the rabbit. And I've got up as close as I dare. Again, I think I'm about 45 metres from it, and it's another standing shot with the trigger sticks that are all folded up, using them basically as a monopod. So again, I'm being as steady as I can, taking my time. Want to take this opportunity. And again, if I can get close enough, I know I'm going to get it, and it's a good shot. So I'm still learning a lot from this night vision shooting, especially still learning a lot with the Wulf 4K day night vision scope, and definitely learned I need a nighttime laser rangefinder that I can use, and probably a better IR would make it even better.